like to talk to you today about the vision and the core values of Bronte Health. A little bit about myself first. I spent my entire career as an operating room anesthesiologist. I was involved in approximately 40,000 surgical cases, and it was a great experience. But it also gave me a perspective on human health, and in particular the tragedy of disease and the tragedy of avoidable diseases that are so prevalent and increasing in our society. But you don't have to be an anesthesiologist to know that we're going in the wrong direction. We have epidemics of obesity across the country. We have epidemics of childhood obesity, which is even worse. And there's so much diabetes that's been caused by obesity that the medical establishment and scientific community has come up with the term diabesity. That is, diabetes from obesity. And this is leading to an explosion of need for healthcare services and an explosion of costs that we're just not going to be able to meet. At the same time, our healthcare delivery system is collapsing under the weight of all of this. It's not a very optimistic picture, and something has to be done differently. The good news is that we have the power within us, each and every one of us, of avoiding most of the diseases by very simple lifestyle changes. And we need to face it. Nobody likes to think of what their health might be like in 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 years. But it all begins with what we're doing right now. If we want to avoid the hospitals and the ICUs and the nursing homes, we have to start right now living a lifestyle of optimal health. And that's primarily things that everybody knows: exercise, nutrition, stress reduction. The other thing that we want to impact as a company is financial insecurity. It's just a demographic reality that it's becoming harder and harder for the average American to save for retirement. Many are struggling month to month as it is now, let alone saving for their older years when they're in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. So to address these needs, my fellow founders and I set out to be really different than other network marketing companies. Network marketing is truly the only vehicle where you can impact the financial security of most people. You don't need to have a network marketing company to sell great nutritional supplements, although it sure helps to spread the word. But network marketing is way ahead of whatever is in second place for the average person in terms of having a secure retirement. So we wanted to be different from the other companies. And we looked at all the things that we liked about network marketing, and we looked at all the things that we don't like about network marketing. And at the top of the list is we didn't want to have hype in our company. It's just too easy and too prevalent for people and companies to hype the benefits of a product without being on solid scientific footing. And the average person has a hard time telling the difference. So we wanted products that would stand on their own, that a consumer would want to buy, whether they were making money in the company or not, that they felt impacted their life, that they could feel, and that they wouldn't want to be without. And finally, that would be affordable. And that's exactly what we set out to do, and I believe we are doing. The second biggest area is we wanted to be truly fair to the average person when it came to compensation in our pay plan. All compensation plans are fair in the sense that everybody has an equal chance of success. But as it turns out as a practical matter, if you're not full-time and have a lot of experience in network marketing, you're going to earn a much smaller percentage on the work you do than if you did have the experience in full-time. So we set out to flip that structure, if you will. And we wanted to pay the most for the person, the average person who was getting some customers, maybe signing up a few reps, and give them the highest percentage of compensation because they were doing the work. And when you do that, our theory is that people will be happy. It will help them afford their products, perhaps get them for free, and meet whatever income goals that they had. And if we did that, we felt people would stay in our company, and we would be able to avoid what's really the biggest problem in all network marketing companies, and that's called attrition. And the third area where we wanted to be different was in the relationship that the company had with our reps. We all too often it's not as collaborative as it could be, and the best results are when the company cares greatly about the reps, and the reps care greatly about the company. Any business relationship should be like that. Any client to customer relationship, vendors, etc. When it's win-win, you have a strong venture, and you succeed, and people stay together. And whenever there's greed or unfairness that enters into it, that's when things don't last. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about the other people involved with me from day one, who have brought so much to the table and made a difference for our company. And I have to start by telling you about Chuck Kidd. If you don't know Chuck Kidd, if you haven't heard about Chuck Kidd, Chuck Kidd is our master distributor, our lead rep. He was with me from day one back in January of this year. And he's, well, without Chuck Kidd, we wouldn't have a company. He is an extraordinary human being. His principle is to act by being a servant, and he is that. He serves the company, he serves the reps, he's smart, he's knowledgeable, he's very, very hardworking, and he's a great leader. And Chuck has never wavered from day one in his belief that Bronta would be, in fact, become a legacy company. One of the keys to success is finding people who have skills and knowledge and attributes that you don't have. So the next person I turned to was a good friend of mine who I'd also known for 18 years, as I had Chuck. And that person was a company, and it's called VitaQuest International. I've been aware of VitaQuest, and in particular, I have become friends and worked with their Vice President of Development, Rick Handel. And Rick will be the first to tell you that we are clients of VitaQuest. We're not partners, but we work together to make Bronta to be the best that it could be. And that's the same relationship that VitaQuest has with each and every one of their client companies. And they don't play favorites, they just do the best job they can. They are absolutely manufacture the highest standards imaginable. I would say the very highest of any company in the industry. They have a phenomenal scientific product development team that knows the marketplace, knows what ingredients work and how they work well together, and how you formulate them to make a great product that dissolves in the right place in your stomach and is absorbable and all that sort of thing. And they have just been fantastic. The third person the third and fourth people were really right there with me for the beginning too. One is Dr. Meir Taco. Many of you in the company have heard Meir speak. He's a doctor's doctor when it comes to the field of chiropractic. And he's incredibly knowledgeable about nutrition. But he's also a really sensational network marketing leader. And we are really lucky to have him. We share ideas all the time, and I'm proud to say that he's another good friend. A person that many of you haven't met yet is Ron Hooper. I call Ron the elder statesman of our company, even though I'm older than he is. But Ron's had a whole lifelong of experience in starting companies and running companies and growing companies, and he just has a common sense and that can only come from years and years and years of doing something like that. So he keeps us on the straight and narrow from going off on a tangent that would not lead us to success, and he's just been great too. And then when we launched the company, we were from day one we were fortunate enough to attract Adam Levy as one of our key leaders. I just, again, can't say enough about Adam. We call him the creative director, but when you look at our website, when you look at our marketing emails, our brochures as we develop them, our business cards, that's Adam Levy's creative genius, both in terms of graphic design, but also in terms of writing content. And he's also our top enroller and a tremendous leader in the company, and he's attracting other really sensational leaders as well. And the only one that I'll mention at this point in time is Cowboy Doug Glaze. Cowboy joined us in mid-September and just really hit the ground running. He's brought in a lot of great leaders, some who are have engaged already in building the business, some who are just still getting more familiar with the product and with the rest of us. But Cowboy leads our weekly conference calls, and he'll be on the road with us. He's a phenomenal speaker and just a great person to articulate the vision and the power and how to do this business. So what I'm trying to say is that it's been an amazing collaborative effort. I never see this as my company. I see it as something, whether somebody's a rep or, well, there are no employees. So at this stage of the game, I'm even not an employee. So there are no salaries. And so it's just little old me kind of minding the store and paying the bills, and the rest is up to the field, the reps in the field who grow this company and advise me and bring in other great leaders. It's going to take a collaborative effort if we want to change the world. And I would like to say one more thing about why we are a Bronta Health company and not Bronta Nutrition company. I see us as way more than just selling supplements and building up a huge sales volume and income volume, and which is terrific, and we want that. But it's at the end of the day, if we don't change people's health, what have we accomplished? And that means from day one, people should be looking at themselves. How much belly fat do each of us have? Well, it's all relative, but belly fat is a great indicator that something's not going the right way, and you're going to have to pay the piper later. So, what medications do we take? How much do we work out? What are we eating? What are we putting in our body? How stressed out are we? And if each of us can, just focus on our own health and well-being, use these products, these great products, as tools to have optimal health and optimal vitality. Bronta means bounding health and vitality. And let's lead by example in all ways. So let's take on our own health and then have the honesty to look at other people and say, don't you want to be, healthy when you're 80 and vibrant and running with your grandkids, or and it's just a question of speaking it and bringing it to all of our attention. And the same thing with our financial well-being. There's nothing wrong with being an 80-year-old Walmart greeter, but it sure would be nice if it wasn't something that we had to do. And it does take a little planning, and it does take a little, long-term planning. We're going to build this house out of bricks. We have to start now. So anyway, I wanted to share those thoughts with you today. And as we're approaching the holidays, thanks for tuning in.